Hey guys, welcome back to the Shape Game new setup. Well, this is a temporary one. Temporary of a temporary. Because if you watch my last video, you know that I'm at my parents' house right now, or my childhood home, in other words. And you would see more of it in the frame, but the problem is I've been cleaning it, so it's really messy because I've been cleaning it, if that makes sense. My parents turned my room into a storage room, which has been fun for them, not so much for me. So, don't worry, you'll be able to see the creepy nutcrackers that I've collected, because I told you I have like over 100, and that's not a lie. You will see those at some point, and I apologize for that. But you can see my books right here behind me, and all here, and there is a whole nother shelf over here full of books, and over there of books, because I love reading. Anyways, today I want to talk about Bipolar II, which is something I suffer from, or not suffer from, but live with, or have, because I wouldn't say suffer, it's just something I have, and it's an extra thing that I have a part of me and a part of my life. So let's talk about that today. I'm not going to do that great with like actual terms and definitions, because it's been a while since I was diagnosed, and I just know how I feel. I won't have a lot of technical terms, and I apologize for that. But if you've watched my depression suicide video, you know how I was diagnosed. Quick summary, I felt depressed for a long time, insomnia, suicidal thoughts, all that stuff. Once I finally was like pushed to the end, well, I walked to the end. I wasn't really pushed there, it's my own doings. I was finally diagnosed at a mental hospital that it was Bipolar II. And from what I understand and remember, Bipolar II is not as extreme or severe as Bipolar I, so the swings of emotions, from the ups and the downs, are not as drastic. So for me, I can tell that my highs and lows are there, but my family more sees it as well. William's going through something right now, and if they had no idea that I suffered from Bipolar II. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because for a good while I've been taking lithium as a dose of that to help compensate for the problems. It was doing pretty good up until recently. Then with everything going on, with a lot of family vacations, with me moving out, and then my family also going through stuff, it really just affected me to the point that if someone said something to me that was kind of rude or snarky, a family member or friend, it could pretty much, immediately ruin whatever mood I had, and immediately put me in a bad mood with like no extra thought about, okay, I could be upset about this. It just immediately went to a low. Same thing happened with the positivity though. I could get really creative all of a sudden and start writing poetry, which I love to do, and the poetry could be kind of depressing, like a really depressing topic that maybe stuff I'm not even going through, but I felt before, and I'd write that down, and then I just got all of that out, but I was extremely happy about it. I was very happy and felt very high highs. Imagine you won something, like an award or a trophy, or you beat a very hard level in a video game. That excitement, that thrill that you get from that, literally that's what I was feeling in those high moments, And sometimes I could even help those moments by drinking coffee. That would escalate my happiness and feelings, and I rode those highs for a little bit to, make myself feel better. Of course, though, I would then get home. My roommate, who I love, is an amazing person, might say, hey, could you take the trash out, And instead of that being a realistic response like I should have done, or just, thinking about it, I immediately get ruined. My mood is ruined, and I'm in a horrible place and just upset. And that can last for a while. I can't get out of it easily, and that's how it is. Low lows and high highs. Low lows not just in terms of anger or being upset or annoyance. Those things happen too, but I also have depressing lows. For example, I decided to do something really smart, air quotes, because it wasn't smart. I listened to Chris Cornell's album. I can't remember the title or anything, but it was because I recently saw him cover a song on YouTube. Of course, he's passed away, so it wasn't a recent of him, but, it was new to me, and I had recently watched it. So I really liked the cover of the song. And so I was like, all right, what I'm going to do now is listen to his music. I was on a long road trip, like 13-hour drive with my parents. I'm going to listen to this. Big mistake, because I'm sleep deprived, going through all these emotions, and it's a long trip. So I listen to this, and I'm like, oh, this makes me sad, because I didn't realize how depressing the music was. Then, to make things even better, I read his Wikipedia article about everything that happened to him. Worst decision to do. Then I read about Linkin Park, even worse, and I just kept going farther and farther to the point that it pretty much, all those emotions that piled up on top of me with those feelings lasted for 3 days, and I just had that low, and I was just like, wow, like I was angry with family, rude to people around me. So I'm still taking the medication. I went to see my psychiatrist, and she recommended that we up the dosage to see if that helped. It's been a couple weeks, didn't help, mainly as proof of that it didn't work that well. The proof is that those Chris Cornell things I told you about, that was 2 weeks into taking the new medication, and I still had those huge mood swings, so that wasn't helping. So I've emailed her, we're talking about what we can do to fix that. But anyways, it's just something to go through, because for a long time though, from first getting diagnosed and being on the medication, it was really helpful. I didn't have mood swings. I was happy because I was happy. I was sad because I was sad. I had my spectrum of emotions was pretty normal, which I was very happy about. And so I know I can get back to that, and it's reachable. It's a reachable goal. I just have to work with, the health professionals that I have to get to that point. But sometimes it's hard because I think my family and friends can forget that I have this bipolar II, and they get confused why I'm annoyed all of a sudden, or why I'm just quiet and off in the distance, getting on my computer and just ignoring them. And they, rightfully so, because of everything I've gone through, they can worry and think that I'm now edging back towards what happened a couple years ago where I ended up in the hospital. And that's not where I am though. I am doing, on a scale from 1 to 100, I put myself in this high 70s, if not 80, of happiness and satisfaction with my life right now. And those moments of when I'm really sad or depressed because of mood swings, those don't affect my overall score. It's just, they put that score on pause, and then I'm dealing with the crap, And same thing with the highs. When I get the high highs, they don't make me feel like I'm at 100. They just put it on pause and like, this is a different feeling, deal with this. And so much fun. It's like bipolar II is giving me artificial highs and lows that I don't need. I just would like the normal reality of highs and lows that happen in life. So this is all to say that I had no idea I had this. Before I was diagnosed, I had no idea that this was something I had and was going through. I just thought these random highs and lows, this was years ago, were a part of my life and everybody's lives. And I was like, well, this is horrible. I hate this reality. I hate that I can't control my emotions sometimes in terms of happiness or sadness. And this is just horrible, and I don't like living this way. And the more you live with that, especially when I was very sad and like didn't have a lot of high highs because I didn't have outlets like poetry or things like that or creating, I was very in the lows. And then when I realized that it wasn't all my fault, it wasn't just me thinking negative thoughts, it was also mismatched chemicals in the brain and stuff like that, I realized that, wow, I have a solution, or I have something that can help me live a more reasonable mental state of life. And I'm so happy that I was able to get diagnosed. So if you're going through anything and you're like, hey, this really sucks to be thinking this way so much, go see a therapist, go see a psychiatrist. I see even just a therapist, because they really can help. And it might not be a medical condition like bipolar II. It could just be you're depressed or sad or lost with what you're going through. And you don't have to think to yourself, oh, everyone thinks this way. It's okay. I think this way. It's just part of life. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. I thought that for years, and it just made life miserable for me. So definitely, you're worth going to a doctor's office for. You're worth checking on yourself mentally, physically, for you, because at the end of the day, you're with you. Be happy with yourself. I've said that in every video, and I just want to keep reiterating that, because you are worth so much. I will recommend this book right here. This is the book that my therapist gave me, gave it to me as a gift. Great guy. I love my therapist. And it's called That Which You Are Seeking Is Causing You to Seek by Sherry Huber. Let's see if you can get it up there. I'll put a link to it in the description. But it is a great book. And it's not like one of those where you're like, oh, I hate reading. If you hate reading, don't worry. There are pages with drawings, pictures for the kids. No, I'm kidding. But there's pictures in there that explain the concepts. Some of them have just blocks of text, but some are just like, none of them are connected in terms of like chapters. They're all just, helpful life lessons and stuff. This has really helped me, especially when medication's all wonky. These little things are just like, hey, you know, stop worrying what other people think about you. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. I'm trying to, you know, as I've said, create more content. I want to make more videos about music because I heard you guys in the comments you really want to hear about my music, and I'm happy that you guys like that. I also want to make a video about why I like poetry so much and how that's really helped me with my depression, bipolar, all that stuff. Cancer too. If you guys want to know about my poetry, let me know in the comments below, and I'll maybe make a video about that. That'd be kind of cool. I'd love that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys around. As you can see, there are a lot of nutcrackers up there, like a lot, and I mean, I don't know if you can see, but like seriously, there are a gajillion up there. It's crazy. And as you can see on this shelf, there are even more, and there were more than this. There were like a crap ton, and they are all in my closet now. So seriously, I have too many nutcrackers, and they watch me sleep, and it's creepy.